All right, let's talk about something that millions of Malaysians rely on, maybe without even thinking about it too much. The Social Security Organization, or SOCSO. Today, we're going to break down what it is, how it actually works, and show you why it's become so much more than just a simple safety net. But first, let's get real for a second. Just imagine this. One day, you're doing your job, earning your pay, taking care of your family, and then bam, an accident happens, and just like that, the income stops. What do you do then? How does your family possibly manage? This isn't just a hypothetical. For a 32-year-old father, we'll just call him Mr. X, this was his life. Before a workplace injury, he was earning RM 3,500 a month, even managing to save a bit. After the injury, his compensation dropped to just over 1,200. But the bills, they didn't change. Suddenly, his family was facing a huge monthly shortfall. To put a single number on it, his income dropped by more than 63%. Gone. That's the kind of financial shock that can turn a family's world upside down overnight. And preventing exactly this kind of disaster is why Malaysia's social security system was created in the first place. So where does this all come from? Well, the foundation for all of this is the Employees' Social Security Act of 1969. This was the law that set up a safety net for employees and their families to protect them from the chaos that follows an injury, a serious illness, or death. Now, while that's the official name of the act, everybody in Malaysia knows the organization that runs the whole show, SOCSO, or Perkeso in Malay. Think of SOCSO's protection like having two different shields. Your first shield is the Employment Injury Scheme. This one is specifically for things that happen because of your job. The second shield is the Invalidity Scheme, and this one's much bigger. It gives you 24-hour protection against being unable to work or death, no matter what the cause. Okay, so let's zoom in on that first shield, the one that's all about work-related incidents. If something happens on the job, what kind of help can you actually expect? Well, this support is pretty thorough. It covers your medical bills, it replaces your income for a while if you're temporarily out of work, and it provides benefits if you have a permanent disability. And in the worst-case scenarios, it gives financial support to your family and even helps with funeral costs. Now, let's talk about that second shield, the Invalidity Scheme. Remember, this one casts a much wider net. It's not just about workplace accidents. This protects you if you're unable to earn a living long-term, for any reason at all. So the benefits here are really focused on the long term. You've got a lifelong invalidity pension if you can't work anymore, and a survivor's pension for your family if you pass away. The scheme can also give out one-time payments, and, this is great, even education benefits for the kids. But here's what's really crucial to understand. SOCSO isn't some dusty old law stuck in 1969. It's constantly changing and growing. It's expanded to cover self-employed people, like e-hailing drivers. It brought foreign workers into the fold, and in 2022, it even launched a scheme for housewives. This thing is alive, adapting to how we work today. And this brings us to a really important question. A monthly payment, like the one Mr. X got, is absolutely vital, no question. But is it enough? Does it check on its own really help someone rebuild their life, their career, their whole sense of purpose after a major injury? In the past, their approach was pretty passive. A worker gets hurt, they get some treatment, and then what? Maybe they get a prosthesis, but with very little rehab, they were often just left adrift with a huge income gap and a future that was totally up in the air. That's compensation, sure, but it's not really recovery. And this is where the modern SOCSO completely changed the game. The solution, which they started back in 2007, is a totally proactive approach. It's called the Return to Work Program, or RTW. The RTW program is a whole different world. It creates a clear pathway built on managing each case step by step. It's not just about patching someone up anymore, it's about guiding them through a whole journey. Full physical and vocational rehab, help finding a job, and ultimately a successful return to meaningful work. And you can see the goals here are so much bigger than just cutting costs. It's about getting people back to work safely, retraining them with new skills if they need to, and maybe most importantly, giving them back their productivity and their self-worth. It's a truly holistic way of looking at recovery. And the way they do it is really smart. There's a clear game plan. The number one goal is always to get the person back to their same job with their same employer. But if that's just not possible, there's a structured plan B, C, and D, moving down this list only when it's absolutely necessary. So when you boil it all down, this is the huge shift in thinking.
It's moving from just passive compensation to proactive rehabilitation. It's the difference between just handing someone a check and giving them a real comeback plan.
And it all comes back to this one really powerful idea. True social justice isn't just about replacing a bit of lost income. It's about empowering a person to get back on their feet, to contribute again, and to reclaim their independence. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the basic building blocks of SOXO to this modern, proactive approach. Let's make sure we lock in the most important points. Okay, so here's what you really need to remember. 1. SOXO is your fundamental safety net, built on those two main shields. 2. It's not static, it's always evolving to cover more and more people. 3. The big change is the shift from just paying people to actively rehabilitating them. And finally, that return to work program is the key. It's designed to restore not just an income, but a person's entire quality of life. And that brings us right back to the beginning, but hopefully with a whole new perspective. Now that you've seen how this system works and how it's changing for the better, the real question is, how well do you understand the safety net that's there for you? Thanks for tuning in.